In August 1833, Parliament passed the Slave Emancipation Act, emancipating, that is freeing, slaves in the British Empire with some conditions and caveats. The result of a tireless campaign within and outside of Parliament, the arguments of the abolitionists seem self-evidently right today, but at the time there was considerable opposition to the cause. We can see this debate played out in the popular prints of the time, and here at the People's History Museum we can see a particularly difficult example produced by the prolific George Cruickshank. This is Cruickshank's An Emancipated Negro, published by the London print seller Thomas Maclean, who specialised in the publication of political caricatures and satire. Maclean published this print in May 1833, just 3 months prior to the Slavery Abolition Act of 1833. It is clearly a pro-slavery, deeply racist print depicting an emancipated white-haired black African man chasing a winged insect along the beach, a dagger in his right hand, crying out, "Food!" The cartoon is explicit in making the argument that emancipated slaves would be unable to feed themselves, presumably lacking both the knowledge and ability to do so. The clothes that the slave is depicted in again reinforces the idea that he is an uncivilized and promotes the traditional construction of a black savage. All of this seeks to promote the idea that slaves were incapable of self-rule, that their survival was dependent on the enlightened rule of slave owners. There is also another undercurrent to this caricature. The figure here is drawn to create similarities between black people and primates. In particular, the elongated nature of the head, with its pronounced chin and exaggerated lips, unsubtly point towards a biological difference between white and black people. In this sense, the cartoon works on 2 levels. Firstly, it highlights the perceived differences in mental capabilities between black and white people. Secondly, it reflects and promotes the idea that black people were biologically different, sharing features closer to that of animals, and in turn suggesting they were both less evolved and developed as a species. On both levels, it sought to reinforce the idea of a racial hierarchy and civilizing mission that was central to the ideology of empire. Importantly, the image gives no sense of the agency of slaves. By this point, slaves had led a number of slave rebellions and had, in Saint Dominique, overthrown their owners, running the new state of Haiti. Colonialism and slavery were not separate to British life, but woven through it. What was taking place across the world had to be justified to ordinary people in Britain. The ideology of racial difference was central to this. These racial hierarchies were often absorbed into everyday life and were commonly reflected in the art and satire of the British print world, as we see here. But they were also challenged and resisted too.